Never Cat Studios. Meow. Let's do this, kitty. This nerd was this old when he first saw uh, what this movie. Nailed it. Actually, that photo is a little bit later, like 2 years after this movie came out. So if you're wondering like what is actually happening, good question. I have plugged my phone into the camera thing, and I turned on the tracking, and it's just been hilarious, fun walking around with this thing freakishly following my every fucking move. Anyway, maybe I should have waited for the first minute to get to start cursing, but you know what? That's not the point of this whole thing. Hey, what's up? Welcome to Ask the Cat Studio. I'm your host, Sir Stormchild. We're going to talk about The Matrix. And if you're wondering why, it's because, one, I've been trying to get through this. There we go. I've been trying to get through Neuromancer by William Gibson. It's not very good. The ideas in it are really, really cool. The implementation and certain character choices are but we'll get into that. But it's also because I wanted to see if I watched this movie and I read the books like I have before. Yeah, all right. The camera do whatever the hell you want. Apparently, they are the stars of the show. That is the truth. And I wanted to know if this dork would have loved it better had he actually known a little bit more about what was going on. I probably would have. I didn't hate it, to be honest. I didn't like the second one, and then I didn't care for the second one because of I didn't care for the third one because of the second one. But we'll get around to all what I think of every single one of them. But to start off with, I watched the last one probably over the Christmas break or whatever. And I enjoyed it, to be honest. I did. I thought it was good. It was a good movie. That has nothing to do with this actual video, but when I was there, I bought this trilogy thing, which is not the trilogy. There are 4 movies, and the Animatrix, which I just finished watching. Again, that movie is impressive. The movie is very much like heavy metal. There we go. Heavy metal. This chick with a sword riding on whatever the hell that is. And if you're wondering, is that significant? Yes, it actually is. That is actually significant, because heavy metal. Not exactly this movie. There's also a sequel, like Heavy Metal 2000. Heavy Metal was a magazine that I used to pick up and read sometimes. I really like the character styles and all that, but the storylines were kind of crap, and you could never really keep up with some of them. And I found that in the military, basically, when I started to get into this monstrosity behind me. But I liked heavy metal. It's not great, but it's fine. But the art style is actually what's really important, because that art style inspired this man, William Gibson, to write Neuromancer. Granted, he wrote it for money. Sure. I mean, he was contracted, I think, to actually get a book out, and you did it. You cranked one out. That is probably the hardest thing, because I'm rewriting this whole freaking novel, and I have to add in all the nuances. The plot is all basically the same. It's just inserting little pieces here and there to make it all coherent. It definitely reads like a guy's first novel who has a lot of ideas and a lot of talent, but definitely because of probably the time crunch, it didn't come out as well as you'd expect. But at the same time, it's very impactful. It's like one of those paintings where you look at it and you go, "This is crap. Why does anybody like this?" And you're like, "You know what? I see potential in it." And sometimes that potential takes this book and turns it into these movies. And I have to explain a few things why this book in its entirety is the Matrix trilogy. Not the fourth one. The fourth one's kind of like a rehashing of it, and like it's all like the sequelitis kind of thing that went on around those times. Well, around these times, actually, if I would, being honest, because some of them just aren't good. You know, it's going to be weird, and you know what? Let's get this started. And this camera is making me nauseous as fuck. That's a little better. Okay, you're probably gonna see like on the top of my head. I did not think of that like 2 seconds ago. All right, because I'm gonna draw on this, but you can see where I'm drawing. Because we stop moving. Stop attacking me. Okay, cool. That's not how you do an X. Come on now. There you go. We's talking the Matrix. That seems stupid. Let's go leave it up here. I can't stand like the look of the other camera. Like it's just moving in and out, and like fun experiment though. All right, so I am going to lose my fucking mind over this goddamn thing. Talking about Neuromancer and the comparisons between the two. So, like, I guess the first things you really gotta technically remember is where the hell's that button at? There we go. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Are like the three main characters. We're not gonna go like super into detail, but the three main characters of the Matrix and Nero. All right. Which the Neuromancer is a weird like idea for a thing. Like it's clearly influential, and I don't negate anything from that, because like overall is very effective. I swear to God. It was hard to get through. It was very hard to get through. It was kind of boring. But we all know the Matrix. We got Neo. We got Trinity. And we got Morpheus. That's your basic people who are in the movie. Everybody else is kind of a secondary character, especially when it comes to the comparisons and whatnot. Oh, wait. He is important, by the way, especially for the first movie. So, in Neuromancer, you have Case, which he does have a last name, but I don't know. There's some people they get called by weird names and characters, and sometimes you're like, who are we talking about? And like, don't get me started on like why there are a bunch of Rastafarians up in space. I don't know. I don't fucking know. You got Case. You got his girl Molly and Armitage. Also known later as Corto. And Wintermute. Oh wait, and because he only comes into play like early. I mean, later on in the book or whatever. Like the book's in four parts. Um, and each kind of like segments it out there. The reason why heavy metal is a thing is because he used to read a bunch of heavy metal magazines, but didn't want to pay for them. You know, he's just like one of those kids where you read a bunch of those like weird things. Come on. Sorry. Do something else. Oh, good lord. Anyway, we're talking about shoes. Riviera. Yeah. So the heavy metal thing, he used to read a bunch of them, and then when he was coming up with the ideas and the reason for this, it kind of makes sense. If you took this book and then made it into a heavy metal magazine style like movie, like this would really work. Like you don't do live action. It'll look fucking stupid and silly, and you'll get called a whole bunch of weird shit. But yeah. If you're gonna do that, it's fine, it's cool. All right, hold on, this is just way faster. All right, so those are our principal characters. And let's see, yeah, because the characters from one going into the other, like Neo Case is basically this dude, no matter, like it's literally him. The original Johnny Mnemonic, which actually is a short story he wrote on before they made the movie of it, and then he tried to co-write the screenplay. And if you ever seen Johnny Mnemonic, they did not give them a budget, that is for sure. But there's a reference to it in this, and it's actually pretty decent. Trinity is just straight up Molly. Molly is a cybernetic ninja. So, you know, it's like, oh, what do they look like? I don't know. Case is a dude. Case, he's just some fucking dude. There's nothing interesting about him. He's just like a dude. He's down on his luck, and he used to be a cybernetic cowboy. Basically, people who rode into, you know, the Matrix. So, but he's all like strung out on drugs and all that kind of whatnot. And so, you know, that's basically what he looks like. You know, just a boring dude who recognizes way too many fucking things in a room, because that's how a lot of this is written. It feels like filler in on a lot of parts. Right. Molly, who is basically Trinity. She's a cybernetic ninja thing, and yeah, see, she has no expression either. Sure, I'll there. She's a girl now, but she's got like a razor, like claws coming out of her hands and shit, and that comes into play for some reason. And then like at one point, or like her leg comes off, and then they have to get it reattached. And then one part, like, oh, her leg's falling off. It's a weird book. And also, like, okay, so like she doesn't have a bow in the thing, but whatever. So that is in a sense Molly. And Armitage Corto, as you would think, oh, maybe that's that him. No, oh wait, I forgot. I'm such an idiot. Agent Smith himself. Okay. So Morpheus is like one of the cooler characters, but essentially he's kind of a mix of Wintermute and Corto. Oh, I mean Armitage, because Corto is like who Armitage used to be before Wintermute. Like he went basically he went fucking crazy, and he went insane, and Wintermute built him back up from the ground zero because they put a chip in his brain, and Wintermute is like an AI program, which I assume all look like this. I know how to draw a box. Shut up. They look exactly like that. Don't worry about the proportion. It's fine. But like they like shine light or something, and then like there's a whole like 3D reality in those. Yeah, see, it's an AI cube or something. I don't know. Some of them like are different colors, and they all have like this weird shield like around themselves that they gotta crack, and they call that the ice. It's like the protection kind of thing or whatever. It again, this is a weird thing. And then Riviera, you would think, oh, maybe that's Smith. No, Riviera's like straight up Cypher, but Armitage and whatever. He was like, again, he's like he's like a big dude. There we go. Give him like a soldier kind of thing, and he's boring as hell because he has no personality. But he does wear a nice little. There we go. Yeah. He wears a suit and tie, so he's fancy. Oh, my face is covering up. I gotta zoom out anyway. There we go. All right, so that's like the edge of the map. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's essentially he's got a good sense of style, like Morpheus, and he's got a an enigmatic personality, which is just like his calm way of talking kind of thing, but at the same time he's also kind of Smith in that way, because he's like a dude being like reawakened, especially near the end when he goes like fucking crazy. It tries to take over everything. Riviera, again, like, he's just some fucking dude. I mean, he's kind of an asshole, because he can like make you like think things, and he's always got like a drink in his hand and shit. There we go. There's a drink. Anyway. Basically he can like project. Didn't have the word tell in it at all. He projects whatever he thinks into your mind, and you believe it to be true, kind of thing. Cypher definitely did not have that capability, which I thought would have made his character a little cooler, but let's face it, Tank was like the best character in that fucking movie. Okay, let's go around here, shove you up that butthole. And those are basically your main characters. But Wintermute is this fucking thing. Yeah, that's what it is. It's whatever that thing is. It has but like inside, it's basically still your grid pattern worlds or whatever. It's all the green screen meshing and kind of whatnot. Because I think it was written in what, 83? See if I'm right. should have checked this. I think I did, but I forgot to write it down because I'm an asshole. Well, I mean, it's copyright 84, so I mean, he wrote it then. Fine, 84. So the technology of that time, and like that makes sense. Whereas like the movie comes out in 1999, and he still thinks he's there could be a world just like what he was already living in inside the Matrix, and then you don't know like when it goes crazy. That is more interesting than the entirety of Neuromancer. I mean, it's not, but so how to combine these? I've been thinking about this, and hopefully this makes sense. All right, so okay, cool. Now we have all that established. We're going to scroll down a little bit to the second half of the equation. The actual movies themselves, which is like the timelines between the two. Do I do a timeline itself? Or, well, I guess kinda. Yeah, do the Neuromancer timeline. That would make a lot more sense. I mean, the basic plot points, anyway. Because that movie's that's in. Let's see, 4. So fuck it. Let's call that half, even though it's probably not. Anyway, okay. So this is the Neuromancer side of the thing. So we get the start of it is obviously Case doing his thing. He's strung out, and he's just like he wants to get back into the Matrix. Essentially, he did a job where he robbed some people, which lines up with Neo and the thugs when they come to his front door, kind of thing. That kind of lines up with him and his drug habit. And terrible people that he goes after. I mean, is around, and like his girlfriend steals from him, and he's supposed to, go. Well, he just wants to get by. He wants to get high, and he wants to like run and try to get back into the Matrix again. But they strapped him down to this bed, and then they fried his brains or his the system, and he can't get back into it and whatnot. But so this one is not in the Matrix. There you go. And at this point, he is in the Matrix. So there is that. Hold on. And then, and both of them, right as they go into the second act of the movie, I guess if you want to call it that. So this would be for the whole first thing, and then yeah, okay. Both of them meet up with their mysterious contact who wants their attention. And Case's thing, he meets, Case. Yeah, he meets Armitage, but because of that, like in this one, he meets up with Molly. That is not how you. Come on now. who tries to kill him, sort of. I mean, she definitely gets his attention, and she kills a few people because, well, she's kind of crazy. Basically, everybody in this like book is an asshole. And does he meet up with Trinity first? And it was Follow the White Rabbit or whatnot. Hold on. Okay, it's been like over a week since I watched the first one. But anyway, so because he meets up with at this point, he meets up with Morpheus and like the other people and whatnot, and then like they go through their whole spiels and, hey, you want to come fight with me? And Armitage is a bit more cold. He's like, hey, how you doing? You work for me now. I need somebody to do a thing, and I need you to go and do a surgery. That's right, surgery. So he can get back into the Matrix. But they also wire in like these little, I'm assuming they look like this, like, grapevine kind of things, like onto his nerves. Yeah, you can still see that. That's good enough. Yeah. And they're like full of toxin kind of shit. So like that's what Case has to deal with, and trying to deal with the fact that he meets up with the crazy ninja chick who tries to kill him, and then they have sex, and then they meet up with Armitage, and then they both go gallivanting on a shopping expedition, which I think is the name of the second shot. It's literally called the shopping expedition because she goes and buys more things, and then they get to a robbery. That's not enough. There we go. Where they had to steal a construct. There's not really much in between it. I mean, they meet up a few things, and then he gets like this stupid ninja star kind of whatnot. It's fine. But then they go through this robbery to get a thing called a construct. From the people that keep them. Basically, it's like they're stealing like another better hacker, and like I assume it kind of looks like an old crappy laptop kind of thing. There you go. That's like the front of it, and it looks like a fucking stapler. Anyway, it's like a like an AI kind of deal, where somebody's like entire consciousness is downloaded into this thing, and that's what they do. On this side, they don't do that in order. They don't do like the whole thing in order. That happens in like the second one with the key man. The key man. There you go. The key dude, where they have to go like steal him. It's kind of the same thing. There's like they're trying to get in there, and then like all hell breaks loose basically. And that's I mean, it's not exactly where like the first one really ends. Because they go on a shopping expedition, they steal that thing. He meets Wintermute a few times. What is the third one? No, that's oh yeah, that kind of Midnight in the Rue Jules Verne. Basically they go to space. And let's I don't know. Let's call that like a tower or something. So after they rob this, they eventually go to see they go to Zion, which happens in the second movie. Which, granted, wait, second half, yeah, well, yeah, it's a little confusing, but we're working on it. But in this case, Zion, because Zion, this one is like, like you got Earth here, and then we're like underground in this little tiny ass area, and everything else is run by the fucking weird ass, squid monster thingies, which are fucking terrifying. Um, but like that's where we like that's Zion there, but this is Zion, and it's like above the planet, essentially. And I think there's another one where like there's another satellite one that's god damn it, I'd spent so much time there and I wanted to leave that I did not remember what it was called. It's not Zion, it's something else stupid. No, the Stray Light Run, that's like the last part. Oh yeah, like they yeah. Is in Freeside, and it's kind of like a Babylon kind of thing. That's what they keep calling. Oh, G-Man, we go down to beat Babylon. That's how they talk. I'm not making fun of people. That's literally how they talk. Oh, there's something about like like anti-gravity, and then like it just drags on and on and on. Kind of like somebody could have paused the video but did not and just kept going to add filler text. Yeah. Freeside, and then it's the fuck is it called? Oh, they're just in Freeside. Whatever. Basically, they put a bunch of crap up there, and that's where like Wintermute is. I think of two different areas. Yeah. So Wintermute's like they're like inside, but he's also like a crystal, but he's inside this weird like head thing with a bunch of jewels all in it. You gotta like jack into it. Yeah, it just looks like a ponytail. Whatever. Where was I? What the fuck was I talking about? Zion, yeah. And then there's no real attack on Zion or whatever, because in this one it's like the attack is coming, and then the fourth one, like everything like hell breaks loose. And then he gets turned into Jesus. Sort of. He all the other copies of Smith that were like duplicating themselves. Neo said, and then like became them, and then like that purged them from like the whole Matrix, and then people came back, I guess. I don't know. And then the fourth movie is like, I don't know, they're just still fucking with you. But after they get on Zion, then there's just drug references all over the fucking place. And then they go on to the Stray Light Run, which is like, I'm assuming like because they call it a spindle, and that's what my brain sees. It's probably wrong, but that's what's on the thing. And they go to, what was it, Stray Light. Thank you, brain. There we go. So they go there to with this fucking thing and another another AI kind of system, like to crack the this thing, the ICE, which is like its security system kind of deal. And so that they break into this, and then she kills a few people. Well, he tries to catch up to her. He gets thrown in and out of the Matrix. He meets up with like that kid, and then there's the gray beach of the damned. And I think that is where Hideo Kojima got the idea for whatever the hell happened in Death Stranding. That game is weird. But you know, there's the Death Beach, and inside Wintermute. I mean, not in Wintermute, but there's an AI, and he's more than one like program in there. Wintermute is one of the programs, and a kind of like a fractured section of this incredibly powerful, apparently batshit crazy AI. And Neuromancer is the second part of that. Neuromancer actually is the construct, which is, you know, like a program, is the construct of the makers of the original Free Side, or whatever. I was trying not to do that, but hey, whatever. She was like the wife who constructed, like, when their husband, the Tessir Ashpool clan, who were a bunch of weirdos, and one of them, like, apparently was living over 200 years old, but like he would have lived longer, but his daughter kills him because she's been messing with like the cryo sleep, and then like he murders the mom for some reason, and then he's drunk and wants to get high and like overdose and like kill himself, but then he runs into Molly, and then he drunkenly picks up her gun, and then like he falls asleep because probably he's just fucked up, and then like she shoots him in the eye with a dart gun filled with shellfish thing, and then like his eye nearly explodes, and then like they get kidnapped later on by the dude because she goes in there to try to kill Riviera and everybody else, because Riviera turns out to be a traitor, much like dun 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 Cypher. This dude, you are a fucking traitor. I mean, he shot Tank. Fuck him just for that, because he shot fucking Tank. But Tank pulled through. Tank's probably my favorite character in the fucking whole movie. I'm serious. And then we get around back to Riviera and Smith. They combine that character too. Because Riviera only comes in about halfway through. Like, they're like on the shopping trip, which I think it's copying that. Like in this area, this is where they get Riviera, and then he does like weird sick shit, and you know, like he's like up on stage and he's like undressing you, and then like he murders you, but it's not really you, but it's like a projection of you, because he has like this hard light projection thing, but like it's like built into him. I mean, it's a really cool idea. Again, if it looked like heavy metal, it would be fucking pretty awesome. It would be god awful dialogue, but because everything in this book, it seems like it's written in tech jargon, but also 70s jive. It's just weird. And, you know, Smith is also kind of like Corto, based, and did I already do that? Sort of. They're kind of the same character because he gets awoken to it. Like, he is very cold, he's very calculating, and then he gets woken up and he's a fucking lunatic, and he's like taking over shit that's essentially what Corto becomes, except for in this one, he blows himself up because they're on like this weird spaceship thing, and it's attached to another weird spaceship thing, and then the ejection pod comes out, and then he's supposed to go out, but like they didn't seal that area, so it just does that, and it goes pew, and it goes boom. And then they gotta get back. This is where like Case and Malcolm. It just looks like I drew like weird square penises and wrote cum. That is not what that is. God damn it. So that part gets all destroyed, and then they go back into their ship, and then this goes back to, Freeside, which is already floating over, but then, they go specifically down to here, and he does like this one final thing where like they open up the brain thing, and with like a three notes, a true name. I don't know. It tries to be poetical, and at times it's not terrible. It's a very interesting read, but I just didn't find it very entertaining all that much. Yeah, Gray Beach. Yeah. Also, that connects with the Animatrix. There's a scene in the last one, in the last little section, the Matriculated, where they were trying to turn all the some of the robots that they captured, they were trying to turn them good. Also go watch that. It's really fucking good. And they have this like little weird baby lemur in a jar for some reason, and it's like attached to them, and like there's like the symbol like with that plus like the gray beach that I keep seeing, like and that thing that makes me think of Death Stranding. Anyway, off topic. And then at the end of this, they Winter Winds and Neuromancer, they combine. Like they're one being now, and like the AI is loose and free to do whatever it wants, which might be the start of the actual Matrix. Kinda. I mean, that would make a lot of sense in the way that it goes down. But if you watch the was it the Animatrix? There's the second Renaissance. That's where they have the takeover, I would say, of human civilization, and like how horribly we treated them, and then they treated us worse, and then they just said fuck you, and then they took over because we destroyed our own planet and sent it to hell. That looks anyway. And so like Riviera, Smith, Wintermute, and like for some reason Neuromancer, I don't know why, this is a character too. It's not just named that for some weird ass reason. That is an actual character. He's like some little kid who for some reason looks a lot like Riviera. I don't know why. Like, it doesn't explain certain things, but like it's more visually impressive to think about than it is to actually, like, if this was heavy metal, it would I don't know why. I'm pretty sure somebody's done it by now, but like that is the perfect art form, especially if you're going to make it into a movie format, which you could do. I mean, it's got some pretty good stuff in it. I mean, hell, they got 4 movies out of the damn thing. 5 if you include the Animatrix, which I do. There's a lot of, I recently rewatched. I was like, that was fun. That's a good movie. But that's essentially what goes down. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens in the book. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of character interactions. It's not a boring read. It's just having actually read through it, would I recommend it? Yes, it is one of those things where you're like, I gotta read this. It is unquestionably a work of art. I might not hang it on my wall, but I'm glad I saw it. It's a book where you're like, yeah, no, I'd lend that to a friend. Don't worry about bringing it back. It's fine. I'm not going to read it again. Well, I mean, there are good sections in it. Just a lot of it's weird. Like the dialogue is strange. I mean, ever hear of grading system like Quang Mark 11? No. Case side. Well, I got a user-friendly Chinese icebreaker here, a one-shot cassette. Some people in Frankfurt say it'll cut an AI. Sure, possible if it's military. Or possible, sure, if it's military. And then it just goes on. Motive, the construct said. A real motive problem with an AI. Not human, you see. And sometimes it's all, like, more messed up. Especially when you get to, like, the... 3J, you missing the mute, man, Malcolm said. Mute say he missing the security for Garvey. Garvey docking as another boat. Boat they expecting come out of Babylon. Mute broadcasting codes fast. We're gonna wear the suits too heavy. Malcolm shrugged. Stay in the web till I get you. Till I tell you. See? It's literally written like that, and I cannot read it in any other voice other than that, which I have to admit is pretty good for a dumbass white dude. And then like he goes through like this mind trip thing, especially on like the thing, and then like he meets up with his old girlfriend, who I forgot, girlfriend who steals from him. She gets killed. She does get killed for some weird ass reason, because like Wintermute can predict things, so it's getting bored and it wants to be freed of its bonds. So it's like we're fighting for humanity. Fighting for human. That's not what they just are getting ready to unwittingly loose an AI who is smarter than all of them combined and has been manipulating everything. Has been manipulating markets from its little ball up in the sky. It has been just like manipulating markets and manipulating people, and now it is free to do as it wants, and it cannot be stopped. So that is a terrifying, terrifying implication. And even once you get to the end of the Matrix trilogy, you get that sense of like, yeah, we did something, but the Matrix is back, so that probably means that it isn't all that great outside still, which makes sense, especially when you get into the newest one, which again I liked. Sure, they had to show a lot of like the past ones, but it was more like quick flashbacks to like help you remember that, because some people are seeing it in the theaters. Not all of them are going to be like, hey, I saw 3 of those, and like all these little nuances. You kind of need it in that movie as it's being rebooted, because like his brain is being rebooted, so that totally makes sense. I liked how meta it was getting. I like those kinds of movies. That's why I liked Scream 4, because it was super fucking meta, and I hope the new one's even better. I hope the new one like takes that idea of like it's a reboot, but it's already happened, but like nobody remembers anything, but like only they do or something. I don't know, because like it feels like it would be like not a sequel, but it's a reboot. So like that they can play off of that, because those are satire. Don't make them like serious, but like make it. You got to make it serious, the danger serious, and then pull back and like add in the comedy. That is how like the good stuff works. And you know what? It does do that in both Neuromancer and in the Matrix. They do. They give you a terrifying version of reality, and then they tweak with the rest of it. And sure, they're like the rest of like what is all. It's not entirely this. It's clearly a work of like their own ideas, but like they took this blueprint and made it into their own thing, which is very impressive. The Matrix is actually in this, like the actual, like it says the Matrix, where it's like it's a combined hallucination kind of deal. Oh, and at the end, like all the toxins get dissolved and he can jack into the Matrix if he wants to, and he never sees Molly again. And like Molly's been beat up and shot up, and there's another ninja who like Riviera blinded, but they used to blindfold the ninja and like let him mess around. Like I say ninja because I think she was a samurai and he was a ninja, and none of it makes any sense because they're like in some weird form of like Tokyo, but like he doesn't speak Japanese, but everything is like clearly inspired by like the whole mesh of like ideas and whatnot, and cyberpunk and Night City, and there are a lot of cool ideas in this. But if you want to read something that's better than that, I mean, come on. It's Philip K. Dick and Blade Runner, also known as Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. I think that was like a better done one. It's more depressing at end points. That's for damn sure. But it's more. I think the plot makes more sense, at least. This is a lot of filler, and I liked it, but I hated it. I would read a later book to see if like his ideas kind of coalesced, which is like the same problem that I'm having with my own stuff. Yeah, that's me rambling about The Matrix for nearly an hour. And welcome back to Incredibly Sensitive Camera. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Where am I at? I'm down here. Okay. Go watch The Matrix. Go watch the new one. The movie's really good. If I had, like if you gotta have a rating of like 1, 2, or 3, whatever. Honestly, I would say the first Matrix, then the Animatrix, then Revelations, then Reloaded. And then the last one. Only because like the second one, while the plot is really, really muddy and weird, with like it's. Oh yeah, I forgot. How could I forget? The Architect. The Architect is also Wintermute. When in doubt, it's probably fucking Wintermute. And I hated that scene, but it was the fourth one. It did the same kind of problem where they were way too. They did a lot of action. They did a lot of cool things, but in the end it was like, okay, when are things gonna happen though? You can have a lot of fight scenes, but like nothing will happen. Go watch Men in Black International. It's boring as hell. And there's like a ton of shit going on. I didn't like it. Why is this one like brighter? That camera's weird. The camera's very weird. This feels more like the white balance on this one at least is like not confusing. I know, whatever. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Go read Neuromancer. And again, this doofy looking bastard here would have hated all of this. That kid would have been terrified to do this right now. Just as it is. And he never would have gotten through this book without just being ridiculously angry about like why it sounds so fucking weird and stupid. But that kid had also never gotten around to actually watching heavy metal and all that shit. Go watch that. This heavy metal. It's good. It's legit good. It's pretty good. It's not great, but have you ever seen the South Park episode where they were doing the heavy metal episode? Oh, it's like the one where Kenny's all hopped up on cat piss. You go, yeah, do that. Go watch that shit. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm your host. I'm Jake. This is my collection. I'm your host, Sir Stormchild. That's Invisible Carl. He's been sitting here the whole fucking time, and you didn't once say hello. But he forgives you. Don't you, Carl? See? I will see you beautiful, beautiful people in the next one. All right? Do the like, subscribe thing. You know how this works. Later, guys. Stay safe. Wow. If you look at it from a different perspective, it looks like a weirdo drew this. Also, I would have super amounts of fun trying to explain this backwards.